Welcome to the More You Look podcast.
Hello everyone, welcome to yet another episode of your favorite podcast, the More You Look podcast. I remain your host, Femi Anthony, and as per usual, I've got my friend here, who's the producer of the show, Shegun Sky.
Yeah, what
up?
Thanks for all your streams once again. Keep feeding us back.
You know what, at this point, I'm just randomly clicking into emails now because we're getting, from 2 emails, we went to 5, went to 7, 11. This week we had 30 emails. And I have to say, I for one, I appreciate your support. I don't think people know that initially, I've always wanted to start a podcast as a hobby. And for me, being a die-hard wrestling fan of close to 35 years, it was meant to be a wrestling podcast where we discuss, weekly, events from the wrestling community and from different wrestling companies. But here we are. I thought, let's start this off. I probably will still revisit my wrestling podcast if I have time. So I say that to say this. I appreciate your support. I appreciate the criticisms. And, we continue to grow. Let's kick it off with quick info. Because what I discovered is not... You see, the government in the UK, as I don't know if it works that way with other countries, when they are about to change policies or introduce new ways to, get money from make money from people, they don't really make it that known. You don't see it on the TV for long and stuff like that. Excuse me. I don't know if people know, but from Monday, March the 8th, there will be a minimum charge of £5 every time you drop somebody off directly outside the North Terminal at Gatwick Airport. Most people don't even know that. I didn't even know. I just, stumbled across this information. And let me read exactly what they've put on here. It says that blue badge holders are exempted, but you must pre-register up to 3 months in advance. If you don't do that, you are liable to pay. And the charge will be £5 for 10 minutes and £1 for each additional minute you spend up to 20 minutes. The maximum charge will be £25 and the maximum length of stay is going to be half an hour, that's 30 minutes. Charges will be paid online or via debit or credit card, but there's the option of parking for free in the long stay car park, which is a bit way off if for convenience, and you can park in the long stay for upwards of 2 hours, I think. So and while we're on that, I don't know if most people even know that TV license, they've also increased charges on the TV license.
The BBC got a bit of backlash.
I just think it's ridiculous that they are paying huge astronomical sums to some of the people who work there doing absolutely nothing, force feeding like false bias and information down people's throats. And here we are. They expect people. I know that we are going to pay dearly for all the expenses, all the money spent, squandered during the COVID, for COVID. But man, they are coming.
But Femi, here's a quick question. Rather than how people pay TV license, what are they not supposed to work a kind of deal since? They're saying we're saving the BBC. Basically, that's what the money is for, to fund the BBC.
How about the slash salaries of their top earners? How can anyone be earning over £1 million per year? Doing what?
Bro, forget, don't go deep into
okay.
All right. Though, and this is what baffles me about this country, but it seems to work for them anyways. Nobody's, people don't complain that much,
That's the thing.
Well, here's an idea. Sky and what's it called? Sky,
BT.
BT. You understand? They should be the one making a contribution, or maybe you write off some of their
This
tax.
is what I don't even understand. Why do people even have to pay?
Why do we have to pay for a
TV
film? I
license?
don't watch BBC.
No, their argument is as long as you watch anything that
but I'm
transmits.
paying BBC. After paying for my Sky, I'll pay BBC again.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I personally think it's ridiculous.
Or you make it optional. You subscribe for the channel.
I think it's ridiculous, and I think
people who are born and bred here, like pure British people. I don't see them
English.
About,
Well, because you see, they have this thing where people in this country, as I've realized, love to follow the law. They love to follow the law.
Yeah, whatever the government says.
Yes. And that is why the government can afford to ride roughshod over everyone by squandering billions. I don't even know if anyone knows that a high court judge recently ruled that the health secretary, Matt Hancock, broke the law in his awarding of multi-million pounds PPE contracts.
Yeah.
Most people don't know that. Because you see, when they release this news into the public, they put it on page 3 on a very tiny print. Something to, they will put on the front page, probably Meghan and Harry, deciding not to do something or deciding to do something with their lives. Splash that on the front page. Then on page 3 or page 7, they'll put that a high court judge has, ruled that Matt Hancock, broke the law. These guys awarded PPE contracts in the tune of millions to their bodies, and we, the public, have to work hard to pay back, all this wasted, squandered money. While we're on that, I don't know if people even know that someone in the UK government used a corporate card to spend £6,000 on luxury chocolate. Ridiculous. The Information Commissioner's Office has to investigate itself after an insider made it aware that over £6,000 was spent on luxury chocolates in one day. Do you understand how much of a twat you have to be in the present circumstances where some people cannot afford to feed their kids 2 meals a day, for you to squander over 6,000 quid on chocolate, for God's sakes?
I don't understand. It's chocolate for other staffs of.
I have no idea, but they've been doing this. This is not something that is new. No, this is not something that is new. These people do this all the time.
And again, citizens, they don't talk about.
This government is weird.
It's like they are happy with that situation, and
they cannot organize an orgy in a whole house.
I was going to say something. Imagine a Nigerian leader, typical Nigerian corrupted leader.
Let me tell you, Nigerian politicians are just following their blueprints, but we are editing it to make it.
Packaging it.
Oh my goodness, it's ridiculous. The waste. They just squander money.
Speaking of government, let me just chip this in. What's your say on this Boko Haram?
I don't want to talk about that, honestly.
Boko Haram, this situation.
By the Nigerian Minister of Defense, I think some idiot, I saw an interview of him with a soldier behind him for bodyguard, opening his dirty, stinking mouth to ask Nigerians to defend themselves against bandits and terrorists. How are you asking people who can barely even feed themselves once a day to pick up arms that they don't have and face bandits who have the most sophisticated weaponry? you know what I mean? The most sophisticated weaponry. How do you expect these people to defend themselves? And the idiot talking, actually has a soldier behind him. So these guys can afford to have 2-3 dozens of escorts, military escorts, while asking civilians to defend themselves. I really do not want to talk about these people today, please. I don't want to aggravate myself. I read something recently that I find a bit worrying, and I think majority of the problem with the British government, I'm not sorry to say, is down to incompetence. I won't even say fraud. They perform their frauds in the most posh way.
Yeah.
You know, but the incompetence is just something out of this world. The Times, I saw a news story in the Times that says that over 1,000 passengers a day are still entering Britain from 33 countries that are on the red list. And these people are entering I know finally they are coming in to quarantine. Okay? But here's the issue. These guys are coming into quarantine and they are mixing with regular passengers at the airport. Is that not a way of even further spreading whatever strain is on the plate?
That's what you remember when we talked about this. I said, why don't you lock passenger flights in? You understand? And leave goods. Everybody knows,
That is not the solution. It's very simple. This is simple, basic common sense. That airport, we've all been there.
Yeah.
We know what it looks like.
Yeah.
And we know what they can do. They can put things in place where people arriving can go in through a different pathway totally, where they'll be away from everyone else. Not because they are lepers, but you don't know who has what. We don't know what strain is on the plate presently. They can come into the country through arrivals and then straight to the hotel where they will stay and quarantine and get tested before they are released back into the society. While they are doing that on one hand, I don't know if people even know that all UK visitors, as you're coming back from wherever you've been to, you must now have 3 tests at your own expense. You will pay for 3 tests. And that's if you are coming from a country that has been put on the red list. Yeah. You will do a test. You will do 3 tests. You pay for them. And then you will have to stay in a quarantine hotel for 10 days. And for that, you are going to pay £1,750.
Will I get English breakfast?
Who cares? They will give you a security that will man the door just to be sure that you don't start walking about, because people, if they are on what do you call it, if they are not being babysat, they are just going to walk about and then possibly spread whatever it is.
Next place in there. I'm asking for your friend.
But obviously you are paying £1,750. What do you want for 10 days? What do you expect?
Netflix, breakfast, English breakfast.
I just think they should have put things like this in place, like
a long time ago.
10, 11, 12 months ago. This is like putting the carriage after the horse after the carriage, or what do they call it?
They didn't want to lock down. There's no two ways about it. They didn't want to lock down because of their worried of the impact, on the economy. And I've always said this government, they are all about the economy, making sure.
Fam, they are not about the economy. Their priority, they are all about themselves.
Bro,
any government of any country they are always about themselves first.
Bro, when I say the economy,
that's why they can afford to continue awarding these contracts to their bodies in the same,
When I say the economy, what I actually mean is they're capitalist friends, people who've got the industries that employ the highest labor, in a way it trickles down back to the average worker, because if the owner of your company can retain their business, then you still have a job. You understand? So in a way, it's still the economy. But that's what they care about, making sure. That's why they were reluctant to, lock down the business. And when they released lockdown 2.0, when they eased it a bit, what was the first thing they did?
Eat out to help out.
Yeah, eat out to help out. And the British, they don't joke with that.
We like food though.
No, it's not about the food, it's the conversation.
But the funny thing, that eat out to help out thing,
it's not just...
It's only helped people that were in the middle class. Because the poor people can't even afford to eat out.
Go and eat out every day. The average British house, they do that.
What I would like them to see is after the whole COVID thing, okay, when they finally open up the country to be able to mingle, Now they should do the eat out and help out, and then let's see. Let's see what happens then. Let's see what happens then. This episode is not going to be too long. I just wanted us to touch on something because in one of the episodes I did say that I was going to find someone who could, explain to us about cryptocurrency and all that stuff. And I've tried a few people the couple of people that I personally know that are gurus at this stuff and that I know that have made, some coins. They are not teachers. Because what they've said to me is, you know what? Yes, I know about this. Yes, but I'm not good at explaining things to people, which is quite understandable. Fair enough. So what I've done is I've taken it upon myself. I've done a bit of research. And today we are going to touch on the basics. Just the basics. Because I'm like you, or I'm like some of you. I know absolutely nothing about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, and all that stuff. But we can help each other by, discussing, touching on the basics, and then I can leave you with, the interest. I can pick your interest so that you can go do some digging yourself. So, first thing I'm going to say is cryptocurrency is more or less like a digital money, and it's designed to secure, to keep you a bit secure, and it's designed to be anonymous, and unlike somebody explained something to me, if you have £1,000, if you had £1,000 in year 2000, if that £1,000 is able to say buy a microphone of this kind, in 2021, if you have £1,000, the same £1,000, the value of that money would have decreased due to inflation and other factors. Okay, you probably might not be able to buy the same microphone for the same price that you bought it 10, 20 years ago. And that's how cryptocurrency works. When you have cryptocurrency, it doesn't matter. The value doesn't change what you can. But what I discovered is I still don't understand why they'll tell you it drops today, it's gone off tomorrow, it's increased today.
I think that's shares.
So what it says on here is, it said it's currency associated with the internet and uses cryptography. And cryptography is the process of converting legible information into an almost untrackable code to track purchases and transfers. So are you guys still with me? We found out that cryptocurrency
lost me already.
Cryptocurrency is the kind of digital money. So what they're saying here is that cryptography was created out of the need for secure communication, but it has now evolved in the digital era with elements of mathematical theory and computer science. And the first cryptocurrency, obviously, was Bitcoin. It was created in 2009 and is still the best known form of cryptocurrency out there. There are new ones popping up here and there, but I think the most popular is Bitcoin. And it says on here there has been quite a few blah blah blah. It has soared this year to more than $40,000, roughly 29,000 per digital coin. Jesus Christ! Imagine having one. I don't even think if you're going to go to cryptocurrency now, if you want to buy Bitcoin, can you just buy one and just build from there?
Obviously, like shares, there's going to be a minimum that you can actually buy.
It says on here, how does it work? Okay, so cryptocurrencies, they use a technology that lets users make secure payments and store money without the need to use their name or go through a bank. It doesn't get more anonymous than that, does it? So it runs on distributed public ledger called blockchain. I have heard of blockchain. I've never understood what it meant. But then obviously now I know it's like a public ledger. So it's a record. It records all the transactions updated and held by currency holders. So units of cryptocurrency are created through a process called mining. I've heard this word, but I've never understood what it meant.
Yeah, but I still don't understand what it means.
Okay, look at it this way. You can buy. Let's put it this way. You can buy Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, anyone you want, from brokers. You can buy
Basically, you pay
and
for it.
and then store it, and then spend them using cryptographic wallets. But what I want to know, I don't know if people know this. I think I saved something on here, which is quite interesting. What really piqued my interest is that recently I read that MasterCard will now begin to let merchants accept payments in Bitcoin.
Yeah, they already accepting
and in crypto. Places. And they're already accepting it in some places. Actually, there is a store, there's a restaurant in London that you can pay with Bitcoin.
Yeah.
You know? So what that tells me, to be honest with you, is that governments of the world will probably try to stifle the growth.
That's why it doesn't really grow.
Because, it should have grown way more than it is now. Because if you think about it, if this becomes a thing, obviously currencies of the world will sort of fade into the background, and before you know it, I think
that's part of the reasons why the United States doesn't want China to pull out of using the recognized worldwide currency, US dollars.
Because if they do,
because they too have their own cryptocurrency, and that's what they were going to use, if they do pull out under Trump. And that was where Trump was leading them to, from them pulling out, which would have been a disaster, because once China can go into crypto fully, then it's everywhere in the world. China has what population?
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I don't even say America has any superpower anymore. They've been beaten to the back. It's like saying Nigeria is the giant of Africa.
I mean, let's not confuse it. They might have the weapons, because I think they still have the most superior weapons. And that's the only thing. But when it comes to every other leverage, I mean, their presidency is shit.
Everything is shit.
The capital, which is like
everything,
holiest place in.
And then if you take into recognition that there are some superpower people like billionaires like Elon Musk and a few others that are solidly backing, Bitcoin. Some celebrities too are choosing to be paid for services in Bitcoin. I think, like Thanos said, you can fight it, you can run from it, but it's inevitable. At some point down the line, this is gonna take a huge hold.
Well, one thing I should ask is, it's good for there to be an option for a bit more safer way for communicating or transacting business, your money, but the truth is, for me, right now we use cash, we use account balances. A lot of people can avoid tax, they can avoid a whole lot of stuff. With crypto, we used to say, that's why the government is a bit skeptical in
some of those government officials.
Yeah.
That have been skeptical. All of them now are talking to brokers.
Yeah.
They want to know more.
Yeah.
About this.
They would use it, but they wouldn't want it to be general, because governments of the world can actually go bankrupt because of this.
So the most common cryptocurrencies, do you know any apart from Bitcoin?
Bro, the only thing I hear is Bitcoin.
Well, Bitcoin was first created, in 2009 by Satoshi Nakamoto. And it's a mysterious figure. Nobody knows who that is. We don't know if it's a company, we don't know if it's a person or a group of people or whatever it is. And there's another one called Ethereum. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. That was developed more recently in 2015. And it's a currency token used in the Ethereum blockchain. We've discussed what a blockchain is already, so don't ask me. So, after a major hack, which is a bit troubling, because this Ethereum, it says a major hack in 2016 caused it to be split into two different currencies. And the Ethereum blockchain is used to build apps, payment services, blah, blah, blah. There's another one called Ripple. And it says here, Ripple is another distributed ledger system found in 2012. And it can be used to track more kinds of transactions, not just of the cryptocurrencies. If I was going to put my toe in the pool of cryptocurrencies, to be honest with you, I'm just going to go for Bitcoin because one is the most popular, is the most talked about, and personally, I think is the fastest growing cryptocurrency presently in the world. And it says on it, why? If you ask yourself, why would you use cryptocurrency? It's known for being secure. It proves at least a level of anonymity. Transactions cannot be faked or reversed, and it tends to attract low fees. Okay? Their decentralized nature means they are available to anyone. Anyone can purchase this according to your purse. And the volatile price has led to sudden peaks in interest as its value goes up, which has been happening a lot recently.
Yeah, I think it's on the stock exchange in America. Yeah.
You can see it as a quick way of making returns, or as part of to build your investment portfolio for a long-term kind of thing. Yeah. So the safest way to buy Bitcoin, if anyone's interested, you approach Bitcoin investors, and the few things you have to know is one, that there's generally no financial services compensation scheme protection. Okay,
which was the argument of Nigeria.
If a Bitcoin broker is hacked and the coins kept in its sites are stolen, there is no government payouts. You're basically screwed. Okay, and that's the way they will, unlike banks where if your money gets scammed, at least some banks still do it where you're insured. They'll pay you your money back.
Yeah.
With Bitcoin, there's nothing like that. Once you get hacked, you're fucked.
That's it.
And I hope there are more hackers now than there has ever been on the face of this planet. And secondly, scams are common. So you really have to know what you're doing if you want to dabble in these waters, baby. The Financial Conduct Authority issued a fresh warning this year. Action Fraud, the government fraud call center, advised buyers to never respond to cold callers. Don't respond to targeted adverts and all this stuff, because there's a lot. Imagine when something is this popular and they know that interest is peaking, there will be a lot of scams, being perpetrated. So you have to be really careful, And Bitcoin profits are subject to capital gains tax. Sometimes when you hear all these things, it's more like it's so complicated. Do I really want to get involved with this? Really, but you keep seeing people making money. It is complicated, but the thing is, there are people out there making money from these things.
Yeah.
So which tells me that it's possible.
Yeah,
it's a way for people to trap in the game.
And
if you don't understand,
if it piques your interest, and obviously do your due diligence, research what you're investing in. Just like you do if you're buying a plot of land or buying a car. You do some research in it, so learn more about it.
All I'm going to say, like Sky is saying now, make sure you do your research. Go online, ask questions. What are the concerns about cryptocurrency? Okay, is it safe to dabble in cryptocurrency? Why should I buy cryptocurrency? What are the long-term gains? Because people go into businesses and transactions for different reasons. Some people want to get rich quick. Some people want to use their business portfolio for long-range, long-term, results. So you have to ask yourself these questions and ask the appropriate questions online before you start buying these things. What I'm going to do, I'll probably spend tiny amount of money and keep track of it. And maybe 5 minutes for every episode going forward, we will just inform people if I've lost my money or something,
Okay.
Yeah. I still have to go to work today. So like I said at the start of this podcast, it's going to be a quick one today. But unfailingly, we will be back again to discuss, life generally, the UK economy.
Before we round up quickly, Femi, what are the movies that you recommend?
Oh God!
For this week,
honestly, I can't even. Let me see, because I was watching something earlier on Amazon Prime, and this is really good. It's called Bliss. Bliss. It has Owen Wilson. Yeah, It's got Owen Wilson and Salma Hayek. We've seen Greenland. We talked about Greenland 2-3 episodes ago. Wonderful film. You know, but the one I'm really particular about is. Oh yeah, the one I'm really particular about is the I Care a Lot. Rosamund Pike. Good movie. Is worth the watch.
I was a bit impatient to see the ending because I was thinking she was going to get away with it. Because
don't drop spoilers. Be careful.
Peter Dunklin really suffered, didn't it?
Don't drop spoilers.
Anyways, guys, this is a very good movie. It's called I Care a Lot. You know, check it out. Let us know what you think about it. You know.
Yep.
Yeah, we are both movie freaks, you know.
Movie buffs, man.
Give us some suggestions. Any movies you think we should be checking out?
Maybe we could. You know, another thing we could do is do a movie review. Movie review every now and then, you know, just to, you know.
I'm good at watching movies. I'm not so good at talking about it.
I will talk about it. I will review it, you know. Remember how when we watch Chinese movies then when we were young and everybody will come out and think they are some ninja and we'll start fighting, or when we watch wrestling and everybody will come out and start practicing the holds on their friends and stuff like that.
Anyways, guys.
Yeah, till we meet you again on the next episode. Stay safe, be kind. Don't forget to donate blood. There are people in the Black and Asian minority communities that suffer from sickle cell warriors. They need your blood to literally survive. Donate blood. If you don't know how to go about donating, just go on Google and do a search of how to donate blood. Take care of yourselves and your family. Let's be kind to each other. Till we see you again.